this the first time and forgot to turn on my mic, so there was no audio, so we're filming again. Hey guys, how are you all today? I'm going to be talking about some of my new favorite slice of life anime. I tried to pick series that weren't as well known but are equally as entertaining, engaging, and with really interesting characters. Series like Lucky Star or K-On! Or Nichijo get mentioned in almost every single slice of life vlog. So today I wanted to introduce some of my current favorite slice of life series that I've gotten great recommendations for and generally are very well received, even though it seems that less people know about them. So without further ado, let's get started. The first show that I want to talk about is called Kiniro Mosaic. Kiniro Mosaic came out in the summer of 2013, and it follows a girl named Shinobu Omiya who leaves Japan when she's a much younger student and does an exchange in England. With her homestay family, she ends up meeting a girl named Alice, and Alice is an adorable little British girl. By the time Shinobu leaves, she's made a lot of great memories with Alice, and Alice only begins to warm up to her right when Shinobu leaves. So a few years later, Shinobu has definitely developed an interest for British culture and the English language, and she's really hoping to go back and become a translator. What's interesting is that by the time she's in high school, her class gets a transfer student from England, and Alice has come to do an exchange in Japan. So they've kind of swapped interests, and I found the show really unique in that it tries to really tease out the dynamic and the differences and the similarities between foreigners who are trying to learn Japanese or Japanese people who are trying to learn English. There are 5 characters in total. 3 of them are the main characters and 2 of them are more of supporting characters, but 3 of them are Japanese and 2 of them are foreigners. Pretty interesting to see them create their dynamic in friendship because there are some cultural nuances and differences in expressing yourself, your emotions, how to conduct yourself socially, and how to make friends with others. The show tries to tease out a lot of these insecurities that foreigners might have in Japan or that Japanese people might have in approaching foreigners, and or how enthusiastic they might feel about each other. I really like the show because while it tries to kind of deal with some of these interesting themes and relate to viewers or students who might find themselves in a similar situation, the show is also really consistent with its slice of life, innocent, moe style. All those elements you get in classic slice of life, it's all in this show. At the same time, there is good plot, there's heartfelt emotions. I really like Kiniro Mosaic, and as someone who's done an exchange and who is learning a lot of different languages and who has friends all over the world from exchange and all my travels, I really appreciate a show like Kiniro Mosaic trying to encompass all the feelings that I have. The next show that I want to talk about came from a recommendation from my housemate. There's about 3 seasons out right now, and it's called Working. Working follows a really interesting bunch of characters who all gather and work at a restaurant called Wagnaria. The newest part-time worker there is Sota Takahashi, who ends up being recruited by a girl whom he believes is a 12-year-old middle schooler, when in fact she's a high schooler and his senpai. Takahashi ends up being lured into this little part-time job gig because he's really interested and easily captivated by cute things. So he ends up following this girl back to the restaurant. All the characters are interesting in a similar way. They're caricatured by 1 or 2 dominant characteristics and personality traits. The characters themselves are not realistic. You're not really meant to relate to them. As a viewer, you feel more like a third-person observer who is teasing out all the little interactions and the dynamics between the friendships or the potential relationships between a lot of the characters. As a result, in all 3 seasons, you'll end up seeing some characters with implied romantic interest, unrequited love, and some ships are canon, some ships are not canon. I hear that's a big thing with this series. The show does play on a lot of the malfunctions and staff room dynamic and dialogue. Working is quite fun to watch. Working is also done by A1 Pictures, so for some of you guys who are fans of A1, you can check out Working. It's got nice, colorful, very well done animation, and very distinguishable characters as well. The next show that I want to talk about is Natsume Yujincho, or Natsume's Book of Friends. This one is a much more popular show, and I personally did not get to this show till much later on. There are 5 seasons out right now, and I believe they are making a 6th season. It is a widely popular show. However, a lot of people don't know it as well as some of the slice of life moe shows. Natsume's Book of Friends is definitely one of the more serious slice of life shows. It also falls under supernatural, a little bit of drama, a little bit of shoujo, and I personally really enjoyed Natsume's Book of Friends, despite the fact that the first season aired in 2008 and the animation is quite old. It's really simple. It's not even that colorful. The show is animated by Brainspace. Natsume's Book of Friends follows a boy named Natsume Reiko who stumbles upon a book from his grandmother. When his grandmother was growing up, she used to be able to see spirits, ayakashi, demons that would kind of lurk around the city, and she would make a pact with them. If she beat them in a battle, they would give her their full names, and she would take down each of the spirits' names into the book. And as the years passed, she would accumulate more and more ayakashi servants. A few years later, when his grandmother passed away, Natsume, growing up, realizes that he also has this ability to see spirits and creatures that nobody else can see. As a result, Natsume grows up quite isolated, but when he stumbles upon this book and accidentally releases an ayakashi sealed into a fortune cat, this little fortune cat sensei tells him that this Book of Friends is very powerful. It has names of so many different ayakashi. Because Natsume's only link to his grandmother is through the book, he takes it upon himself to return all of the names of these creatures back to their rightful owners, because names have a lot of power. This is a pretty straightforward premise, but I actually found myself crying in episode 2 of season 1. I literally almost never cry for anime series, not even at dramatic finales, but I cried for the 2nd episode of Natsume's Book of Friends. As well, the show does proceed very patiently. It's very careful in the way it story tells. Nothing is rushed, and I really appreciate this. I think I'm definitely going to be flying through all 5 seasons of it. Natsume's Book of Friends is a must watch. Now for a much lighter show, this time animated by PA Works and aired in 2012, is called Tari Tari. Tari Tari follows a girl named Konatsu Miyamoto who really wants to sing in her last high school recital. However, she finds that she runs into a lot of issues when she can't really get a choir going, the vice principal doesn't really allow her to participate, and there just seems like a lot of issues in this school. This show is kind of like the precursor to Hibike Euphonium, which released about last year by Kyoto Animation. This one is done by PA Works. Tari Tari is much more well-paced. Hibike was a little bit slow. There's constantly new conflict that's coming up in the show. Once it solves one problem, it moves on very quick. And Tari Tari does try to answer some questions in Konatsu's background and her connection with her mother and her passion for music and where it comes from. I appreciate this series a lot because I quite like the voice acting cast, and at the same time the animation is very well done. I did stop Tari Tari around episode 5 or 6, but it was only because I had some seasonal anime that I was following. I am going to go back and finish it. Konatsu is a really interesting character. She's quite persistent in what she does, and I personally really like music series, which is why I was particularly drawn to this show in the first place. Finally, the last show that I want to talk about today is called Wakaba Girl. Wakaba Girl came out last year. It's very recent. It's one of the much shorter slice of life shows because each episode is only about 5 to 7 minutes long. It follows a very rich girl named Wakaba Kohashi, who is slightly an airhead, but despite the fact that she is a total ditz and she's clumsy about everything, she's a really endearing character. She has this enthusiasm about the most mundane things that regular people wouldn't have. So because Wakaba is an ojo-sama, she's grown up really pampered. She grew up with a silver spoon, a gold spoon in her mouth. She hasn't had the opportunity to live like a normal girl. And when she ends up going to middle school, she ends up meeting 3 other girls who she befriends, and they're willing to spend all this time with her and teach Wakaba about all the cute things like eating lunch together, spending time together on weekends, getting ice cream after school. The series really idealizes school life, and I think in the way that it does it in short sketches and short episode length, it really hits home for a lot of viewers. It reminds me a lot of like high school days, really innocent, carefree days without responsibility and without worries. Wakaba Girl is one of those shows that you can really wind down to. All these little things that we used to do also we can relate to with the characters. That being said, the show isn't particularly deep. I would say that it's very suited for slice of life moe fans. If you're particularly a fan of cutesy girls, you will like Wakaba Girl. However, if you have a much more mature slice of life palette, I recommend something like Genshiken instead of Wakaba Girl. The characters are also varying in different ages. For Genshiken, the characters are university college age versus Wakaba Girl gives you the sense the characters are in middle school or perhaps even younger. So it really depends on your slice of life taste. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found something interesting to watch for this summer season. I haven't done an anime vlog in quite a while, so I hope this one was okay for some of you guys. I did want to give a list of more colorful recommendations rather than the same classic ones you hear all the time. So hopefully you guys will try out some of these shows. I would definitely say Natsume's Book of Friends is my current favorite show, but Kiniro Mosaic comes fairly close. If you guys like this video and are looking for more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe and or share this video. Follow me on Twitter or Tumblr or Instagram. I'm always updating things. I'm tweeting more recently. Till then, I hope you guys are well, and I will talk to you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!